Welcome back, baseball fans. 1972 Winter Baseball Classic Tournament. We have a game today. It's between New Orleans, they call themselves the Sugar Magnolia, versus Tucson, who call themselves the Box Elder, up in Mount Lemmon area. New Orleans and Tucson, two wonderful communities to visit in America. We gave them spring training facilities. And of course, you know, guys just show up across the country at the closest spring training facility. Could be anywhere in America, perhaps Mexico, Canada. Kind of fun. A little different than the Cactus League and the Grapefruit League. We have a game today in the losers bracket round of 5, the final game series in the round of 5 before we move into the round of 3. This is a loser go home scenario. In the first round in this region, and let's take a peek at the region here. Tucson drew the lowest seed, and they lost to the number 1 seed Mississippi team 4-3 to go to the losers bracket. New Orleans lost to Memphis 4-2. On paper, it looks like Tucson is a little bit better than New Orleans. Hasn't really turned out that way. In that Tucson won game 1 in New Orleans. We're winning game 2, 3-0, about to go up 2-0 on the road when New Orleans catcher Tom Haller hit a 3-run homer in the bottom of the 9th to tie it. They won an extra innings, and then they went to Tucson and won game 3, beating them 8-2. So New Orleans has stolen the momentum after losing game 1. And we have a game 4 today. We can look at the roster composition here of the, the two squads. Let's take a peek here at the New Orleans team, the visitor. And we have in light green, again, the format is these guys already have a card in our summer league, so these cards are probably not as good for Davey Johnson, Don Money, original A-Rod, Richie Scheinblum, Buzz Capra. They have these 5 guys in blue, keepers, and we're trying to figure out in our summer draft which year are we going to take Willie Davis, Dave Kingman, Ron Bloomberg, Vida Blue, who will probably be the first pick in the draft by the Ohio players. I don't think it'll be with his card, though. He didn't pitch on 3 days rest. And Bruce Keeson. They have 4 guys on waivers, and they have this rather large list of undrafted free agents, guys who have not been in the league or weren't in it a year ago. Maybe we're in it in 69 and 70, including Larry Brown, Terry Humphrey, Ted Ford, never been in it, Gary Ross, never been in it, a young Milt Wilcox, and Dan McGinn, who's been out because he's not very good. Tucson, see, we're not going to learn a lot about Tucson because they have 8 guys who have future cards: Cater, Evans, Jimmy Wynn, Ron Fairley. 33-year-old Ron Fairley here has a better card at age 34-35, which is pretty interesting. Same with Jim Perry. My goodness, and Lindy McDaniel. Think about that. We have their 36-year-old cards here, but they perform better at ages 37 and beyond. So these are the 6 keepers we're evaluating, and we know Willie Mays. We're definitely taking this 72 card for the Giants. He got traded back to the Giants. We got Chico Cardenas, Rennie Stennett. Stennett is playing some outfield now since his porous defense in the infield. Mickey Rivers hasn't quite got the stick yet. Bill Stoneman, still a nice starter. Sonny Siebert. 4 guys on waivers, and they have 2 undrafted free agents: Skip Judson, and Sid O'Brien. Sid O'Brien had been in the league like a few years ago as a longtime utility player, but not presently. So that's kind of like the rosters of these teams. So let's get into today's game. It is indeed New Orleans will send Jim McLaughlin to the mound. He was a Cincinnati Red in 72, 9-8, 3.91 ERA. Versus Tucson's Ken Brett, 7.12, 4.53 ERA with the Brewers in 72, but he has pretty good 73, 4 and beyond. So McLaughlin, Ken Brett from Tucson. Tucson needs to win this game to get a split and send it back to New Orleans for a game 5. Let's get started. Leading off for New Orleans is Willie Davis, 38, pops the second. We're not going to show cards during the game. We will show all 20 cards of the team that gets eliminated at the end of the video. Larry Brown strikes out. Rick Reichert, 1-7, strikes out. These have been low-scoring games. Our league ERA is under 3, which is kind of stunning. 38, Jim Wynn, base hit. That's because you have to consider that most of the talented players in the year of 1972 are presently in the summer league, so we don't get to see that crop of cards. So you're going to be playing a lesser population of talent, so you get lower scoring games. Curt Blefary, 65. This is off of McLaughlin's card. 1-9 homer, misses it. Rennie Stennett, 2-7, is a base hit to right. Wynn thinking about making the turn against the forward arm. He will, and he makes it. They're on the corners for Willie Mays, and this is a interesting roll. 1-9, strikeout plus injury. So here you have a case where Willie Mays is probably 40 years old, so they put the injury on 9 instead of 10, 11, or 12. So Tucson just lost a center fielder, which is rather sad, but they got Mickey Rivers, who can just come in with his 3 defense plus 4 arm. Is he throwing underhand? 2 outs now, Darrell Evans. 1-6 is a walk. The bases are loaded. 2 outs for Ron Fairley. 46 off McLaughlin. There's a single dot, and here comes Tucson with 2 outs. Runners on the corners, 2-0. Danny Cater, short. Trying to get a split. 2-0 lead. Here's Kingman, 39. 39, triple 1-11, single. It's a base hit. Richie Scheinblum, 49. Another base hit off Ken Brett's card to center field. 2 on for original A-Rod. 3-5 A-Rod. That is gone. He has the 3-5 card. 13 homers with the Tigers in 72. That's out of here. 3-run bomb, and here comes New Orleans again. 3-2. Ted Ford, short. Don Moolah, K's, and Terry Humphrey rolls to first. Bottom of 2. It'll be Chico Cardenas, 66. Homer 1, double, 2-base hit. Sid O'Brien pops to third. The Toy Cannon, 58, flies to right. And Curt Blefary, 2-7, is a walk. 2 on, 2 outs for Rennie Stennett playing left field today. 37 for Rennie is a base hit into center field. Chico Cardenas could run here. Remember, we just swapped out, no, Willie Davis is a -1 arm. Cardenas is 11. He's going to run on a 12 here. He is out on an 18. So Willie Davis guns out Chico Cardenas, attempting to tie the game. A lot of offense early for a WBC game. We go to the third. Here is the guy who made that great throw. Willie Davis, 54, short X. This is Chico Cardenas at 323. Makes the play. Larry Brown, 1-8, lines up third. And Rick Reichert, 48. Single on a 7, lines out. Bottom of the third, Willie Mays' replacement, Mickey Rivers. 111, grounds to first. By the way, Mickey Rivers hit 214. So that's a real big drop off for a team who needs a win from Willie Mays. Darrell Evans, 1-5, a walk. One of his 90 walks in 1972. Nice card. Ron Fairley, 58, pops to third. And Danny Cater, 37, grounds the third. Top of the fourth, 3-2 game. Kingman, 110, short. Scheinblum, 411, walks. A-Rod, the big blast earlier, 69, another nice hit. Double 1-19, a 2-base hit, second and third. They're going to bring the infield up. Tucson recognizes the situation is not good. Ted Ford, 2-7, is a liner to first. And with 2 outs, big moment here, and I got to get Don Moolah out. 37, he whiffs. Ken Brett survives that. It'll be Chico Cardenas, 1-6, flies center. Sid O'Brien, 46, base hit. We got the Toy Cannon, 2-4, center. And with 2 outs, it's Curt Blefary, 54, flies to left. McLaughlin had a rough first and second, starting to settle down a little bit, but he has put men on every inning. Into the 5th we go. It's Terry Humphrey. 2-7, the whiff. Willie Davis, 47, a walk. Didn't want to do that. Speed is on. +2 arm catcher. He's just taking off. Well, actually, you know what? I got Larry Brown's a good, well, I'm going to take off. And I'm out on a 19. The dreaded +2 arm catcher can just gun these guys down. Larry Brown, 5-12, first. It's not like I steal a lot off a -1 or 2 arm catcher anyway, so. And then the +2s throw the guys out. So, yeah. Rennie Stennett, 59, second X. Larry Brown, 3E22 at second base. Makes a play. Mickey Rivers, 46, base hit. Put him in this spot. There we go. For Darrell Evans, 49. Flies to right. And with 2 outs, it's Ron Fairley, 56. Hops to short. Jim McLaughlin. He puts a guy on every inning. They don't get touched though. Now since the first. On a short leash though. Trying to get a series win with a 1-run lead. We'll go to the 6th. Let's pause a moment for station identification.
This is the Shrimp Trawler video channel.
Este es el canal de videos de camaroneros.
Okay, top of 6. Rick Reichert. 3-6 is a K. The Kingman, Dave Kingman, Ks. And Richie Scheinblum, 47, walks. A-Rod, he is the offense for the visitors. 64, center X. We have, this is Mickey Rivers, yes, a 3E8 with a bad throwing arm, but he makes the catch. All right, McLaughlin has been teetering on the edge. Let's see if he can get through the 6th. It'll be Danny Cater. 69 is a walk. Not a good start. Chico Cardenas, 111, pops the second. Sid O'Brien, 310, A6, 4, 3, double play. And your standard fare of putting a guy on every inning. It's not really hurting too much. He's put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Put 11 men on, only 2 have scored. Top of 7, Ken Brett's a starter, 6. He's pitched pretty well, 3-run homer. He deserves to continue against the bottom of the lineup. It's Ted Ford. 68 is popped second. Moolah, 1-6, short, and Terry Humphrey, 212, pitcher. Well, look at that. Nice little performance, all things considered, for Ken Brett. Stretch time. Here we are in Tucson, Arizona, and we are enjoying Tucson natives, the Meat Puppets, and enjoying their 1985 classic Up on the Sun, featuring that tune plus Best Place I Ever Found Was a Little Swimming Ground. Another great song by them on this wonderful record. Hot Pink, what we're listening to. Meat Puppets, Kirkwood Brothers, and so forth. Okay, let's go back to the bottom of the 7th. Jim McLaughlin, starter 7. I don't think we want to allow him to lose. Bullpen is okay at best. Gary Ross is good, McGinn is awful, Akers decent. In the New Orleans bullpen with a 1-run lead. McLaughlin puts a guy on, I think we'll hook him to prevent a loss. And it'll be the top of the lineup, which is the toy cannon, Jim Wynn. 67, well, single 1 of 15, but he misses it on a 17. Boy, this McLaughlin guy is hanging in there. We know he's going to put a runner on at a certain point. He's done it the whole game. Kurt Blefary, 1-4, flies to right, and with 2 outs, it's Rennie Stennett. 54, left B! And then you get Mickey Rivers leading off in the next frame. We go to the 8th. Ken Brett, he is going to continue. He's pitched pretty well. One bad moment there in the 3rd. Willie Davis, 1-3, second. Frankly, Tucson would like to serve up revenge by coming back in the bottom of the 9th to beat New Orleans, since that's how this series turned. Larry Brown, 42, left. Rick Reichert, 1-7's a K. So for being down 3-2, it seems like Tucson might have the momentum. McLaughlin, he's going back out there in the 8th because he's facing Mickey Rivers, who's a 214 hitter. And here's the pitch to Mickey. 1-8 is a grounder to second base. Darrell Evans, Ron Fairley, and I think we'll call it there. 7 1/3. We are just being selectively, trying to avoid the damage and We're going to pull him. We're going to go to a lefty for the two lefties, Evans and Fairley. That is Dan McGinn. Dan McGinn will come on in the 8th. His stats are not very good, but he's only going to face two left-handed batters and hope it's not too terrible. He has a 5.86 ERA. The damage, of course, done by right-handed hitters. But it'll be Darrell Evans leading off. Or with one out, it'll be Darrell Evans. Here's the pitch. 39, it's a flat out rate. And with two outs, it's Ron Fairley. 2-5 is a grounder to first. So McGinn survives that encounter. And you got three righties in the left inning. So Gary Ross and Aker will be pitching in the 9th. Ken Brett, we'll take him out. We'll go to the closer for Tucson. Lenny McDaniel, arguably the best pitcher on the staff, was with the Yankees, I'm assuming. Yes, he eventually goes, I think, to the Kansas City Royals. He pitches till he's forever years old, thousands of years old, Lenny McDaniel. He comes on in the 9th inning to try and keep this affair close. It'll be Kingman leading off. 46, pops out. Richie Scheinblum, 5-12, single on a 1, cannot get it. And A-Rod, 4-11, first. Any more defense we could toss in here to make it a little more interesting. We could put Davey Johnson at second base. We will do that. And we'll pull Larry Brown, who's had 4 plate appearances. Yes. So we improve our defense at second base. We go to the bottom of the 9th. Danny Cater steps into the box. They got Jutsi and Popovich on the bench. Not going to scare anybody. We're going to go right to Jack Aker, the closer. See if he can do it. He was 6-6 with the Cubs with a 2.96 ERA. Puts a lot of guys on. Does give a lot of extra base hits to lefties. But he's coming on in the 9th inning, attempting to save a 3-2 affair. And Tucson and rest of baseball realizes that it's not that terribly difficult to come back and win a game in the bottom of the 9th when you're down a run. I would say it happens, as soon as I go to a closer, the team just rallies and beats up the closer. So that's what we're expecting here for Tucson to come back and win this game in the bottom of the 9th, or at least tie it. So here's Danny Cater. Watch, folks, I'm telling you. It's very simple. This happens all the time to me, and I got to play extra innings. So Danny Cater will lead off in the bottom of the 9th. 49, well, there's Homer 1-2, fly ball. Misses it, of course. Flies out. Chico Cardenas. 64, skies a center. And Tucson's tournament is in the hands of Sid O'Brien. Or pinch hitter Skip Jutsi. Or pinch hitter Paul Popovich. The guys on the bench don't have any power. Sid O'Brien does, with a homer chance on 3-6 and 4-10. So here's Tucson's tournament right here, folks. Sid O'Brien, 2 outs, bottom of the 9th. Here is the pitch. 4-11 off of Aker. First X, we got a ground ball to Dave Kingman, who's a 3.25 at first, and will most likely get an error. We do not! Dave Kingman! He scooped the ball up and ran to the bag. How about that, folks? 3.25 first baseman makes the play, and Tucson is gone. They look like the better roster. They won game 1, was about to go up 2-0 on the road, then the wind, the wind beneath their wings just was stagnant or something. It's awful. They just stunk. They stunk up the joint 3 days in a row and break up New Orleans. Not only did they win the series, they won it 3-1 with a rather curious roster. McDaniel, we'll go through the box here, and then we'll go right into the looking at the cards of the Tucson squad. So Ken Brett, hard luck loser. 4 hits, 3 runs on the 3-run homer. That's it. So A-Rod, 1 swing is all New Orleans could do, and it's enough. 3 walks, 8 strikeouts. Jack Aker does get a save. And the awful Dan McGinn with a 5.86 ERA, and Jack Aker didn't allow anybody to reach base. Jim McLaughlin really wasn't as good as Ken Brett, but he gets the win. 7 hits, 2 runs in the first. 4 walks, a strikeout. He puts 11 men on and 7 in the third. But, hey, it's a W. 1019, 0109, 3427, 3841 in game number 4. Wow. Take a closer look at some stats before we look at the cards here. New Orleans. So I have a lifetime Winter Baseball Classic 1-loss record. I've been doing this since 2006. It used to just be a regular old fun tournament for spring training. And then it was integrated into a mixed card league, and now it's integrated into the 4-year carryover league. But New Orleans has a lifetime, I think they have the best record in this tournament going back to 2006. Haven't been very good recently though. So by winning this series 3-1, New Orleans, who struggled in the round of 7, is 500 at 5-5. Tucson, well, they lost 4-3 and now 3-1. That means they end with their 7th loss, 4-7. 5-5, 4-7. Indeed, it was Tucson hitting .231 with a 3.44 ERA. New Orleans pitched to a 2.01 ERA, led by Vita Blue, Jim McLaughlin, the number 2 guy, Bruce Keeson, Buzz Capra, and Milt Wilcox. So stay tuned. We will do the Tucson elimination video after this. Okay, baseball fans, this is a look at the Tucson Box Elders cards, the 20 players that just lost that series to New Orleans. We'll start by going quickly through the carry-on guys who have better futures already in the league, including Danny Cater. Darrell Evans has his 40 homer card to 73 in use. Jim Wynn has a great Dodger card. Ron Fairley hasn't, believe it or not, a card better than this in use since like 73. Ken Breck can pitch on the rotation. This George Stone card you see is not very good anyway. Jim Perry is still very good with Cleveland with his brother in 73 or 4. And Lindy McDaniel, who's still good here but has a better card. So no reason to really think about evaluating those. Here's where you want to start. And yes, Willie Mays. This man is 41 years old. He's a 2 of the -2 arm in center field. You name another guy. Name me any 40, 39, 37-year-old center fielder with that range and arm. I'd like to know. Anyway, so Mays, this is the card that the Giants will pick up, and then after that, they might retire him. Chico Cardenas is still good at short, but the range is down from 2 to 3, and the 18 home runs he once had are gone. Rennie Stennett had a nice, incredible batting average in 71 for the Pirates. Terrible defense. The thing is, though, I don't like this card either. There's no spot for him to play left field for the Pirates. Their outfield is stacked. Matter of fact, Stennett and Dave Parker can't even get on the field with Clemente and Willie Stargell and Bob Robertson. So we'll probably skip this Stennett card and get him as a better second baseman. Mickey Rivers, he's got a better card, protected by the Angels in the future, I think 75. Bill Stoneman, this is probably the card the Expos will take because you see he's still an Expo, and look at that. You can still pitch on 3 days rest there. Sonny Siebert always did well for me, going all the way back to 69 with Boston. Really anchored that Boston pitching staff, and he's been traded to the Cardinals by this point, and he's still, you know, a bottom-end rotation guy. 4 waived players now. Popovich will pick up a utility spot somewhere as a switch-hitting guy. He could play all the infield positions. Blefary doesn't do much anymore, but you got to remember he's a left-handed hitting catcher with power who has on base. So believe it or not, this card might get into the league with a 196 batting average. So I wouldn't dismiss that. Eddie Fisher had an outstanding 71. He's getting older now, not as effective. And Gogolewski, similar numbers, 4.24 ERA, not much there. And now the 2 undrafted free agents. You know, this Yahtzee card, Skip Yahtzee I like to call him, I guess. That's a decent batting average when you look at the small, it's only 71 at-bats. It's a 239. It's balanced. I don't know. I mean, he's got a +1 arm. I don't know if it's going to make it. But trust me, there are worse catchers than this guy. And Sid O'Brien is another, he's probably actually competing with Popovich for a utility infield spot. It's nice to have power both ways, a homer on 9 on both sides, with just 2 homers and 97 at-bats, split efficiently, 52% and 48%. So split right down the middle there. Can you play first? Good bunter. I don't know. And that will do it for Tucson. And we'll now move into the round of 3 tournament, as this the speed of the tournament will start to pick up. We have 12 teams remaining. We have a round of 3, which will eliminate 4 more. And then once we get down to the final 8, we'll have a divisional round of 5, and then the League Championship, World Series, whatever you want to call it. I don't know if I would really want to call it World Series. Winter Baseball Classic Championship. Thanks for tuning in, folks, and we'll see you next time.